Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. In this video we are going to create a main menus for our game, and for that purpose I will just create some sprite images, and we will also get some music. So for music you can go to this site freestockmusic.com and you can get your music. I just downloaded two type of music for the menu backgrounds, and then you can go to this website freepick.com, and here you can get some sprites for your game if you want to do so. If you want to need some backgrounds or logos, you can get these from free pick. And from fonts, if you want a font, I just added this font for the logo. And now we will just move back, and we can actually, I just collected the images from the racing tracks, and here we can add this image, and we can save this image in a proper size. That's why I bring it into this Photoshop. So I think that is for PNG. So let's save it as a time trial PNG, and then we have this racetrack PNG, and you can definitely resize according to your own needs, and then we can save it as well. These images we will use inside the main menus, and this is for racetrack. So now I just created the logo, this logo for the game as well, and now we will just start creating our menus. So now here in the scenes we can just right click, create, and we can create a new scene, and we can name it main menu, and we will just open the scene. And one important thing is that I just forget to enable this thing, and now we'll just move back to main menu scene. In the game settings you should select full HD 1920x180, and here we will just create a canvas. We can just name it main menu canvas, and you can name it whatever you want. And in the settings here we will just select scale with screen size, and here we will add the size of 1920 and 1080, which is actually full HD size here. Save it, and if you will use some other size, you can use that, and then you can add that proportions here. So it's up to you, but scale with screen size is very important so that it will be cross platform, and if we create game for if we deploy a game on other devices, it will be fine. And now let's create a background. So we will just go to UI, and let's create a panel maybe, and we can name it the background. And for the background we can actually add image for the background. So we have bring these images, so let's add this image for the background. This image is not 2D, so that's why we can't use it. So before doing anything else, we have to convert it into 2D, and then we can use it in the background. And now we will just press F, and you can see that we have a nice background here, although it's quite dim, and we want to make it bright. So we can just add the opacity to 255, and that's great. Now we have a nice background for our game. We will add a logo for the game, so let's create a UI and image, and name it logo image, and we will just add this PNG image of a logo, and let's make it bigger. So let's make it big like this. I think it's a little bit stretched out because the default image size is different from the square size. So what we can do, we can click on set native size, and then we can actually scale it, and then it will be in a better dimensions. So here you can see that we have a nice image. Logo is very beautiful, but you can see the style is not visible on this black screen. So if you want to improve it, you can definitely use some other background for the car, and also we can use logo to this right side. Maybe I will just bring some other background for the back for the main menu, and we will resume the video. So I think this image is quite good for the background, so let's save it, apply it, let's go to background, and let's add this image. So yeah, this is quite good, and now you can see that if we in game view, we can see our logo in a better shape, but not too good. So for some reason I'm not satisfied with the result. Anyhow, we can just pick the logo, and why we can't move the logo now. So okay, so now I will just make it small, and to the top left or top right, wherever you want to add it. And I'm also not satisfied with this logo background, so for time I will just use the same background maybe, or we can actually go to the we can go to the downloads, and here I have downloaded this image as well. So this image look good, I think. So let's, before that we will just convert it to 2D, and background, let's add this image. Yeah, this one is quite good, although it's quite bright, and if you use some if we create some menus or any other things, it's definitely not visible on this image. It will not be clear. So what we can do, we can go to background, we can add a color multiplier to this. So I will just add this type of reddish over right. So now it's quite better. In the game view, you can see we have this type of background with a nice logo, so that's beautiful. Now we'll add some text for the main menu. So here I will just go to UI, legacy text, and I will just name it enter text, and here we will say that press enter to proceed to start. Okay, and now we have a nice text. We will just add our desired font style. So let's use good Roman 58 will be the size. We can make it in center. We can wrap it from wrap to overflow. We can actually select the color of the font, and we can place it anywhere on the screen. So I think in the bottom it will look better. So yeah, so in game view you can see that now we have nice text here. Press enter to start for adding more dynamicity, we can go to Windows, we can go to animation, and we can add some animation for this text. Select the text, create animation. We can go to assets, we can create a new folder if we want to do so. I will just add a folder here with the name of animation, and we will just name it intertext animation. And now for this text, we will just go to, for the first frame, we will just select the color, and we will make the color totally fade out to the opacity will be 0. And then actually before doing this, we have to click on this icon so that it should record our animation. So now we will just add it here, and now first frame is added. We will just go to the 1 second, and here we will select color to the full, and we will just go to 2 seconds, and we will just select the color to be full, so full, and then we will just go to 3 seconds, and color will be dim again. So now if we play this, you can see we have a nice fade animation like this, and we can see our text. Definitely the animation should be on loop by default. So if we just move back to the animation, we can just go to animations, and we'll select the animation, and loop time should be selected, so this animation should loop again and again. So now we will create another menu, and we will actually save the same scenes. So let's save the scene, and let's go to the scenes folder, and I'll just name it race track selection scene. And for this scene, we will just do the same thing for the background and for the logo, but we will modify these things, so we don't need text here. So we will just create a buttons, so UI, and we can go to legacy button, and we can actually rename this button to stats button like this, and we can actually add this button to something like here, maybe in the bottom. One more important thing is, whenever you select the logo, if it is on the left top, you should select this anchor, and here start button, we should select this anchor point. Okay, so this is also important for dynamic UIs, so it will be responsive throughout the devices. So here I will just find some button background button, let's see, UI button, and if we found some good button maybe. So on the free pick you will find a lot of assets here. So here you can see definitely these are Illustrator and Photoshop buttons. You can see nice buttons here, these one and these simple buttons. I like it, these. So let's download this button, free download, and this was the simple one, and actually I have reached the limit for today. So I will just move back, and I will actually play a trick here. So for my UI I need this grayish button maybe, so I will just go to snipping tool, let's select this button, and we will just get the image for this button. So I will just capture it, and then I will just select that button, captured button. Let's open this inside Photoshop, and I will select the background of this button and we'll just delete it. And now we have a nice smart button. Or here we can just go to File, Save As, and the PNG and the button, and then we will bring this button inside Unity. So let's go to Unity, and inside Sprites we will add this button. Let's go to Sprites, let's select the button, let's go to default 2D UI, apply it, and let's select the button, and we will add this button to the background. So where is the background? So this one. And now you can see we have a nice button here, although the text is not very much dynamic. So we'll just delete the text, or we can just remove the text, or let's delete the text, no problem. And I will select the button, we will adjust the size of the button. So you can see button is very small, so we will increase the size to something like big, so like this. Okay, this much button is good, so we'll just select it and we will just add it here to the right bottom. And this is Start button, so we'll just click here, UI legacy text, and we will name it Stats button, and we will name this text to Stats, and we will just bring these stats to Stats button, sorry, and then we will just make its position to 0 0. And now we will just make its font style to Good Times, and we will just make it overflow. We will just make the size to something like 48 maybe, and we can bring it here. And black color looks good, and we will just add the black color for this button. So beautiful. So now we will select this Stats button and we will just duplicate it, and we will just move it to the left side. And here on the left side we will just anchor it to the left bottom, and we'll just rename the this Start button to Car Selection Menu, and we can change the name to Car Selection. We'll just place it at the right position. Definitely the font size is big. If you want to make the button big, I will not modify the text, I will just make the button bigger. So let's make the button a little bit big. And now okay, where is the text? So this is the text, I think. Yeah, so it's text, and this is Car Selection text inside the button. So now if we go to game view, you can see we have Car Selection button and the Stats button as well. Definitely the why these are not it didn't look good, because the size of the button is a little bit different. So we'll just select the Stats button. Let's bring it here, and we will just modify the size of the stats a little bit. Now it is good, and we'll just place it again, and we'll just place it to the right position. That's great. We have successfully added the stats button, and now we will add the buttons for the tracks. Okay, so for the tracks we need buttons as well, so let's create a new button, UI legacy button, and for this button we will just rename it to the time trial track maybe, and for this we'll just remove the text and we'll place the time trial image. I think we didn't brought that images, so we'll just move back and we'll select the racetrack and time trial images, and now we'll select both, make it 2D, and now on this button where we have this time trial button, we can actually add this image to the button. There it is. Okay, and we'll just click on set native size. So now you can see we have this track. And one more thing is we have to add a title here. If you want to add some background for these tracks, you can do so. So I will add actually a panel for the tracks, so UI panel, and for this panel we can name it time tracks panel, and inside we will just modify this panel to something like this maybe, and from the width as well, and we can actually modify the color to something like black, which will be better, and then we will add this time trial track to this track panel, and then we'll just duplicate it, and we can move it to the other side of the track, and this will be our racetrack. Okay, and what we will do now is that we will just rename it to racetrack, and we will also add some text to it. So let's go to UI legacy text, and I will name it time trial text, and we will just add it here. We will say time trial track. We will just make it 36 maybe. Font will be the same one, and overflow, and then finally the color. And now you can see that we have time trial track, this one, and then we will add it inside the tracks panel, and then after that we'll just duplicate it to the other side, and we'll just rename it to racetrack. Track text, and we will now name it as a racetrack. Okay, so that's great, and now we will just duplicate the text again. We'll just place it outside this tracks panel, and we will just select the text bring it on the top here in the middle, and we'll just rename it to the title track selection, and for this text we'll say track selection. And definitely we'll make it bigger, maybe 62. Yeah, this much is good. And if you want to place some border to it or underlines, you can do so, but for now I think we are happy with this, and I will just select this time trial track and text and just bring it here maybe, and this one to the left side a little bit. Yeah, this is a better place, I think. Save it, and now you can see that our track selection menu is also ready. So now what we want is that if we press enter on the main menu, we should be directed to track selection menu. So for that purpose we will just go to scenes menu first of all, and we'll just go to file, build settings, and here you can see we have no scene at all. We will just add main menu. We will add racetrack menu after that, sorry, not racetrack, selection menu on the second number, and then we can add racetrack and time trial meanwhile. Okay, so now our scenes are added, and you can see that scene name you already know, and the scene indexes are also here. So main menu is on 0 index, track selection menu 1, and then other menus. So we will just go to scripts, and actually I will just create script inside the same folder because I don't need too much mess and creation of other scripts. So let's create a script, and we will say main menu script. Let's open the script, and for the scene selections, whenever you want to manage the scene management, you have to select the you have to include a library here using Unity engine dot Unity engine dot scene management. So it is very important. And now actually we can add certain function inside update. So we'll say that if input dot get key down, and we will name it key code dot return. So return is used for enter. Okay, and we'll say that scene manager dot load scene, and we want to load our one scene with the index of 1. Okay, so now we'll just move back to our main menu, and we want to apply this script on certain game object. So let's move back, let's go to scenes menu, main menu, and here we can actually create a new game object. We can name it main menu script, and we'll add this script main menu script over here. One more thing is we want background music for the main menu and the other menu. So we will just go to audio source, and we can name it the background music, and we will enable it on play on awake. We will just go to sounds. I just bring these two music sounds for our music. So let's add this music to the main menu, and for the other menu we will add other music. So let's go back to scenes, and racetrack selection scene, and here we will just add another music audio source, background and music, and for this we will just go to sounds, music, and we will just add this music for the background. Let's move back to scene 1, which is the main menu, and let's play the game and let's see what will happen. So now you can see that we will have our main menu with a nice music, and we can press enter, and after enter you can see we are into to track selection menu, and you can see buttons are also interactive. That's great for this video. I hope you understand that how you can create nice menus. In next video we'll move further. Goodbye.